What if your best friend is secretly in love with you, but they're too scared to say it? You've laughed with them, cried with them, but something about their energy feels different, like they're holding back a truth that could change everything. Psychology reveals signs most people ignore, but if they do even a few of these things, you're not just friends. Let's get into it. Sign 1, they remember everything about you. They bring up small things you forgot you even said. They remember the way you like your coffee, your favorite childhood movie, even your weird fear of clowns. When you mention something once in passing, they treat it like it matters deeply. Psychologists call this selective attention. It's when the brain prioritizes someone because of emotional importance. It's not just memory, it's focus, care, and intention. They store your stories like they're collecting little pieces of you. When you're in pain, they remember exactly what soothes you. Even your random habits don't go unnoticed. It's like they study you without trying. And the way they light up when you talk about your dreams, that's emotional attachment. They're invested in who you are and who you're becoming. This isn't casual friendship anymore. This is someone who has memorized your presence. They remember what others don't because they feel what others don't. And here's the twist. That kind of recall doesn't happen without feeling. It's not just caring. It's connection. Sign 2, they get jealous but pretend not to be. You talk about someone new, and suddenly their tone changes. They act unbothered, but they avoid eye contact or give you a dry response. They make sarcastic jokes about the people you're into. They laugh, but there's something behind it. Jealousy in friendship is usually brushed off. But when it's romantic, it lingers. They become distant for no reason, right after you post a date night photo. They subtly compete for your attention in group settings. They'll never say they're jealous, but it shows. They might change the subject quickly, or even question if that person really deserves you. Jealousy isn't always loud. It can be quiet, restrained, and heavy. What's scarier? They often don't even realize they're doing it. According to psychology, suppressed romantic feelings often leak out through emotional tension. When they start showing irritation, sadness, or mood shifts when you're with someone else. That's not just friendship discomfort. That's fear of losing you to someone who sees what they've been hiding. Sign 3, their physical touch feels different. You've been hugged before, but not like this. Their hug lingers. Their hand stays on your shoulder, just a second too long. They find small excuses to touch you, fix your hair, adjust your bracelet, nudge you playfully. It feels intimate. Not just friendly, psychologically. Humans crave closeness with people. They're attracted to. Touch becomes a love language, even if they don't speak it out loud. Their body naturally angles toward you when you're sitting. They lean in when you whisper, and they don't pull away. You notice their breathing change. When your hands accidentally touch, when they laugh, they reach out like connection is automatic. They fix your necklace, touch your arm when talking, brush lint off your jacket. But here's the hidden clue. They don't do this with other friends. Their touch is selective, gentle, and often more than necessary. This isn't habit, it's attraction. Unspoken, controlled, but powerful. Their body speaks the truth they're too afraid to say. Sign 4, they treat you differently than anyone else. They share their deepest fears with you, but keep others at a distance. They're more patient with you than with anyone else. You notice they're more present, more alive when they're around you. They laugh more, open up more, and show you sides no one else gets to see. They light up when you walk in, but dim down when someone else distracts your attention. They look at you in a way that feels deeper. It's not just you're funny, it's you matter to me. When you speak, they truly listen. Not just with ears, but with full presence. They remember your schedule, support your goals, and defend you when you're not around. When others tease you, they step in. They become extra protective of your heart, without you asking. And when you're not around, people mention how they're different when you're not there. According to psychology, this is called emotional differentiation. It's when you subconsciously treat one person with more emotional weight. This isn't equal. Friendship, you're the exception, and deep down, they know it. Sign 5, they make jokes about dating you, but always add, just kidding. They say things like, if we were together, we'd be unstoppable. Or we should just get married and save everyone the trouble. then laugh. Like it's a joke, but the timing is always strange. The look in their eyes says more than their words. They flirt, then pull back. They test your reaction by adding humor as a shield. It's not an accident. It's a calculated risk. Psychologists call this projection cloaked in humor. They want to see how you'd react to the idea without getting rejected. They use laughter to hide longing, and sometimes you laugh with them, but feel that strange shift in your stomach, like maybe they're not joking at all. They're kidding. Sounds more like hoping, and those what-ifs. They're real questions dressed as punchlines. This is how some of the deepest relationships begin, hidden in jokes nobody's laughing at. Sign 6, they show up for you. Every single time. You didn't even ask, but they're already on the way. They sense your sadness before you say a word. They check on you during hard days, celebrate your small wins, and remember everything you forget. They cancel plans to be with you when you're hurting. They're always there, not because they have to, but because they want to. This is called consistent emotional availability, and it doesn't happen randomly. They show up during your storms, not just your sunshine. When no one else texts, they do. When you doubt yourself, they remind you who you are. They don't wait for you to ask. They anticipate, they remember your deadlines, support your healing, and stand by you in silence. It's not grand gestures. It's reliable love. Friendship might explain loyalty, but this is devotion. You're their person, even if they've never said it. Sign 7, they open up in ways they don't with anyone else. They tell you stories they haven't shared in years. They cry in front of you, something they rarely do. They talk about past trauma, childhood fears, failed relationships. You become their safe space. They're vulnerable with you, not because you force them to be, but because they trust you deeply. Emotional intimacy is the quiet doorway to love. And this kind of openness, it's not casual. They trust you with their softest parts. They admit things they've never said aloud. They call you when they're overwhelmed, not someone else. They ask for your opinion because it matters more than others. They don't hide their ugly truths with you. This is deeper than comfort. It's emotional dependence, and often emotional intimacy comes before romantic feelings are confessed. In fact, it's the first stage of falling, even if they don't know it yet. Sign 8, they don't talk about who they're dating or avoid the topic entirely. You ask if they're seeing someone, and they dodge the question. They say not really, or it's complicated, and move on. They don't share names or details. They downplay their interest in others. They never bring dates around when you're present. It's not shyness, it's hesitation, because deep down, they don't want you to think they're unavailable. They leave space, just in case. Psychology shows is that when someone has feelings for a close friend, they often avoid discussing outside relationships to protect that bond. It's an emotional safeguard. They don't want to hurt you or themselves, so they keep things vague, confusing, or totally silent. And when you talk about someone new, they suddenly get quiet. This silence, it's not empty. It's filled with everything they wish they could say. If you recognize more than 3 of these signs, this isn't just friends anymore. But here's where it gets crazy. Most romantic relationships begin as friendships, but fear of rejection or losing what you have stops people from speaking up. So they love you silently, in the comments, in the memes, in the moments, in the spaces where I love you wants to live, but never does. Ask yourself, what if the person you're afraid to lose is the one who's most afraid of losing you? Now scroll back, count how many signs they've shown you. You might not be imagining it, you might be living it.